What is currently happening, programs? Welcome to the Grid VR, where I'll be bringing you this week's news in virtual reality. It's Sunday, the 6th of May, 2018, and all I can say this week is, fuck, mate. We've got some dude walking out of the room, some lady forcing a joke, somebody falling asleep in class, a kid stacks a block, a guy stands awkwardly, polka dot headsets, and some of the most promising advancements in VR today. Today, I'm going to cover off the main events to keep you in the loop. So stay locked, enjoy, and welcome to the Grid VR. Facebook's annual F8 conference was on this week, and the company revealed it currently has 4 main focuses in the field of VR, the first of which being optics and displays. The team are looking at increasing pixels per degree, which is a measurement on how clear an image is actually perceived to be, increasing field of view, which is how much of an image you see at once, and also depth of focus, which dictates where and what you are focusing your eyes on. And while pixels per degree will improve as screen manufacturers make better screens, the Oculus team have made some progress with field of view and depth of focus, and crammed that into an Oculus Rift prototype they're calling Half Dome.
Pretty exciting, huh?
Fuck yeah! Any of you paying attention? Whatever. The prototype has a, hey, sit back down. You, fucking wake up, mate. The prototype has a 140-degree field of view, which is a noticeable improvement on today's 100-degree field of view consumer VR headsets. Plus, it contains a varifocal display that silently moves the screens inside the headset, so you can focus on objects of varying distance depending on what you're looking at in VR. Currently, devs put important objects around 2 meters away from your body in VR due to the screens being a fixed distance from your eyes. And if you get too close to those objects, then they go blurry. With a varifocal system, you could hold an object close to your face and the headset would shift focus so you could see that object clearly. Crazy. Don't expect these features tomorrow though, as Nate Mitchell, the head of Rift at Oculus, pointed out in this comment. Me, I reckon the 140-degree field of view could easily make it into a Rift 2, though the varifocal stuff may take a little more time depending on things like eye tracking and getting it all down to a reasonable consumer price tag. Second on the list is 3D capture. The team demoed a photorealistic capture of an environment that was then rendered in VR, which we've seen before, though this one included accurate, real-time reflections to further convince the mind that it's actual reality. So realistic, in fact, that one of these is the original video and one is a 3D reconstruction of that video, and I couldn't tell which one was which until I spotted the shadow. On top of that method of capturing environments, the team
Have created another way to do this.
Yeah! Oh, for fuck. This new system can use a dual camera phone, like the Samsung Galaxy Note 8 for example, to capture multiple images and then stitch them together using depth information to give you 3D panoramas that you can view from varying angles in VR, to give you a real sense of presence from your shots. And similar tech can be applied to 360 videos. But face, 360 videos are rubbish. Well, yeah, but Facebook have also now partnered up with Red, who make some of the best cameras on the planet, so expect a jump in quality there too. Third on the list was interaction. Oculus is working on leap motion style hand tracking, which is great for things like social VR, and in my opinion, I thought the leap motion was fantastic at this task. Markerless body tracking is also showing some great progress, and again, this is implemented using a standard smartphone camera. Facebook also has a system called Dense Pose, which goes one up and includes a full polygonal mesh, allowing for some truly next-gen people mapping. And while those last two are more AR focused, the point is improving how computers see the world so that we can interact with them more seamlessly and so they can get me a nice cold beer when I point directly at one. And last on the list was avatars, actually placing a real representation of you, not just a low poly approximation of that, into VR, so you can interact with people you know or those you don't face to face, literally. And on top of all that, it was revealed that the standalone 6 Degrees of Freedom headset Santa Cruz, which I covered in this episode of the Grid VR last year, is now in the hands of developers, so expect to see more news on that one sometime soon. Over to mobile VR, aside from a trailer that sets some pretty high expectations but doesn't describe how, what, or why the product is, the Oculus GO hit the shelves this week. I've covered this 3 Degrees of Freedom standalone evolution of the Gear VR multiple times on the Grid VR, but now we know that you can copy your own files to and from the GO via USB, and in the future you'll be able to attach removable storage like a micro USB card to boost its fairly limited built-in storage capabilities. The battery life lasts for around 2 to 3 hours, which isn't great, as that's like a movie and a half. Though you can use the GO with a USB charging cable attached. And to be fair, that is more battery life than you'd get out of a Gear VR, so definitely progress. Just don't get carried away and blow up my face. I need that. No, actually I don't. The GO also includes a rubber spacer to give people who wear glasses more room to fit their specs. And there are plastic brackets that let you fit prescription lens add-ons, which I've linked in the description below. On top of all that, VR Gamer Dude, another VR YouTuber whose channel you should check out, has confirmed that if you own Wedmo VR lens adapters already, then those work too. Pricing wise, it's $200 for the 32 gig version and $250 for the 64 gig version, excluding shipping, and content wise it works with almost all Gear VR apps, and there are over 1,000 working titles supported right now. The Bigscreen team also released a remote desktop feature for their free app that lets you use your Windows PC wirelessly on your Oculus GO. So whatever you have on your PC, you can view it on your GO, which it's fucking awesome. I've ordered an Oculus GO myself and can't wait to give it a full review in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that one. And briefly, the team over at End Night Games have announced that The Forest is getting full VR support. This is absolutely batshit crazy, as when I first mentioned VR support for this game on this episode of the Grid VR earlier in the year, I totally thought it would just be a segment of the game. Survive against cannibalistic mutants in this truly terrifying first-person survival title, as it leaves early access this week. And on May the 22nd, you can do that in VR, and it's a free update for existing owners of the game. And all I can say there is fuck that. I'm in. Beat Saber released this week, and I gave it a full review in what I think is absolutely my finest work to date. So if you haven't seen that one, then click the link on screen now or check the description. Spoiler alert, I'm loving this title, and if you like what you see on screen and you have 200 meg of free disk space available and an hour of spare time, then download it and give it a slice. Funktronic Labs, the developers of Cosmic Trip, have tried to out adorable Paddington Bear in their native VR title Star Bear Taxi. Steer clear of raccoon bandits and ferry dancing bears around a futuristic city to get some gold. Cute as hell, and as a 15% discount until late next week, landing it at under $7. A Google Spotlight story called Back to the Moon is now free to watch on mobile VR headsets or on PC VR headsets via the Steam store. It's a few minutes long, and I highly recommend it as an excellent celebration of the work of French illusionist and filmmaker Georges Méliès, who was also the pioneer of movie special effects. Check the link in the description for that one. Also, Goro Fujita has posted a new short called Beyond the Fence, made using Oculus Quill that you can view for free in Facebook Spaces. WMR for SteamVR has left early access, so now WMR headset users will see better performance, stability, and controller support when playing SteamVR games. Treytech has remastered the DK2 Welcome to Oculus introductory VR experience, which is nostalgic as fuck for anyone who had a DK2. And Battlezone has been updated and includes cross-play functionality for VR and non-VR players. As always, all the links are in the description. And finally, Disney unveiled a prototype VR jacket that lets you feel hugs in VR. And given that Disney owns Marvel, I'd highly recommend it for all the DC fans out there. Oh shit! And that's this week on the Grid VR. You can help support this channel by grabbing exclusive rewards on Patreon, and if you like this video, then crush that like button, have your say in the comments below, and hit the EXO logo to subscribe if you wanna. I'll see you in the next one. Peace!